Carters, are you looking for a new pair of shoes that are cute, comfortable, and can be worn every day? Finding your new go-to pair is now easier than ever with Rothy's. Their shoes give you right out of the box comfort, come in amazing styles and colorways, and hey, you can wash them. It's a new age, people!
And the best part is everything Rothy's makes is better for the planet. So there you go. They've repurposed millions of water bottles into their signature thread that goes into every single one of their products. Millions of women wear Rothy's shoes every single day.
And I'm definitely one of them. They're so comfortable. I wear my Rothy's every day. And I'm Asian, and I'm not supposed to wear them in the house. But you can't tell me what to do. It's my house. Did you know that for People's Magazine's first ever style awards, they awarded Best Flat to one of Rothy's styles?
When I tell you these things are comfortable, I mean, I cannot overstate it. All right, so step up your shoes and accessories this spring and get ready to be asked, hey, are those Rothy's? Plus, get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/add-to-cart. That's rothys.com/add-to-cart.
Also with that fire, boy. Bling, bling, you forgot your bling, bling. Wait.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Add to Cart, a show about the things we buy and buy into and what it says about who we are. I'm Kulap Vilaysack.
And I'm Susan Park.
You are?
I am.
Okay.
Today I'm Susan Park.
All right, Susan. So, Susan, while we were taking, some weeks off, Texas passed a not-so-little bill that we want to spend just a teensy amount of time talking about.
Yes. Ku and I have some add to carts. We've got some remove from carts. And, of course, we have a very exciting guest coming to join us in a bit. But as Ku said, let's talk about what has happened in Texas with the SB-8 anti-abortion law that went into effect on September 1st.
Yes. So as women and women of color, we want to lay out the brass tacks of the bill, shout out some organizations to donate to, and mention a couple of companies who are setting up their own funds to support abortion access.
So here are the facts, if you don't know them already. This bill bans abortion at about 6 weeks, and there are no exceptions. There's no exceptions for rape or for incest. And to really understand what this 6 weeks means, in Texas alone, 85% of abortions happen after 6 weeks. And most women don't even know they're pregnant at 6 weeks, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. The second part of this bill that is truly insane,
barbaric,
satanic, whatever you want to allow it to be, is that it basically makes the citizens of Texas like bounty hunters to enforce this law. So any person can sue someone who has helped someone get an abortion that violates the ban. And that includes doctors, that includes abortion funds, that includes friends, that includes rideshare drivers, anyone that they think has helped someone get an abortion, citizens can sue them. So if you bring this lawsuit, you could receive a minimum of $10,000 in damages that is paid for by the person you sued. Minimum of $10,000 in damages, which is why I think a lot of people are referring to this as essentially kind of a bounty. And this law will force people to seek less safe abortion. It affects women of color. It affects poor people. It affects people with less resources, more so than any other category. And it's also really dangerous because guess what? There are going to be a lot of other states that are looking at this law and this bill and thinking, hey, here's a way around the Constitution.
I mean, it's enraging. It's enraging. It's maddening. There are a lot of organizations that you can donate to if you're able to support. Just a few. And we're going to list these, but we would love to hear from you, orgs that you've researched and that you support as well. First one we're going to bring up is the Fund Texas Choice. They help people buy transportation tickets. There's also Indigenous Women Rising. They help pay for abortion, but also help to pay for gas and other childcare for Indigenous people. Buckle Bunnies will help anyone in Texas get an abortion. We also want to mention Support Your Sisters Fund, which is through the Afaya Center. They pay for abortions for anyone who identifies as Black. And to find out other orgs, check out at Jane's Due Process or NARAL, NARAL.
Yeah. And so, we wanted to highlight some of these organizations that are really just on the ground helping women fight back the adverse effects of this bill, should you find yourself in that situation. But there are companies, and this is a show about the stuff we buy and what it says about who we are, our values, about the world around us. And so we just wanted to highlight a few brands because, Texas, it's a huge global economy. I mean, Texas is a massive state. There are a lot of companies that are either headquartered there or have really big offices there and a big presence in Texas. Some companies that have immediately come to the forefront of this because a lot of those companies are pretty quiet around this.
Pretty silent.
Yeah. And that's a whole other thing, and we're not going to get into that. What we're going to do is highlight some of the companies that we thought were doing some fantastic things for the people of Texas, for the women of Texas. Bumble, which is a dating app, it's based in Texas, is creating a fund that will support organizations and support women's reproductive rights. Match, another dating site who also owns Tinder and a bunch of other apps, is creating a similar fund. And Lyft is creating a driver legal defense fund to cover 100% of legal fees for drivers sued under SB 8 while driving on the platform. So that's pretty incredible. This just happened September 1st. So this is something that both of us have been following, and we don't want, this may not be the place that we get into all of it, but it certainly affects us.
Absolutely.
And we wanted to talk about it here. I want to do an add to cart. It kind of started, it started really around the time that shit went down, a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And I didn't get to mention it there, but it's a product that has really helped me. And it's this new company called Asutra, Asutra. It happens to be co-owned by Venus Williams. And so it's a really interesting company. They do a lot of products, right? A lot around helping you with pain, skincare, just a very wellness kind of oriented company. And this particular product I wanted to highlight. It's called Chill Pain Away Magnesium Hemp Cream. And it is pain relief cream, and it has CBD. A lot of the pain creams often come with a menthol scent or use menthol, and that's something that I can't use. And this has no scent in it. And I use it especially around the pain around my shoulders and my neck, behind my neck, right at the base of my skull. I've been using it in between my shoulder blades.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, this is it's like you have iced your neck, but without the ice. It's a numbing, and it's not even a sensation. It's almost like someone turned off the lights around the nerve endings that are creating the pain.
Holy cow.
I don't even know how to describe it. I've tried other CBD creams. I've tried very expensive CBD creams because I get chronic migraines.
Yeah, yeah.
And so for me, I can feel a migraine coming on because my neck will seize. That's the first thing that I know, it's coming. If you don't do something now, then it's going to, get pretty bad. So I was really excited to try this, and it totally works.
Okay, so now I need to try yours.
Yeah.
Because I love the Relieve Your Pain. I use that.
Tell me about that one. I've read more about this one than the one I tried.
Now, I don't believe that it has a scent, but I could be wrong. I feel the menthol. I don't smell the menthol.
Yeah.
And I don't know do other creams do that? Have that sort of feeling? Because I put it in the same place that you do. And because I just always walk around with tight shoulders.
Yeah.
And I also put it across my chest to relax my my poor, breast muscles carrying all this hefty weight.
Just so much heavy lifting.
So much weight.
Okay.
Just
doing a lot of massaging, guys, by the way.
Too much weight. I'm showing
there we go.
I'm really working that, and I get into my wing meat.
My bird wing meat. Yep. No, I know.
Truly a game changer. And
it's no wonder, of course, Venus, who's a pro tennis player, if there's muscle pain, she of all people understands how it limits your activity, but also how to sort of relieve it. It makes sense that she's a part of this company.
Well, we got to give, shout out to owner and CEO and AAPI queen.
I mean,
Stephanie Morimoto. Asian excellence. What's up?
Black and Asian excellence combined together. Superpowers.
That's right. Combined. Suchin, I have a tale to tell. It's a tragic tale that I want to invite our dear producer Claire Jones, you of course Susan Pak, and our listeners to gather around the campfire.
You've been alluding to this, and I'm scared.
And I understand that fear, but it's a tragic tale. But I want to preface it that no one was harmed except for me.
Okay.
For me. Okay. Now, Sue, I need to set the scene.
Go ahead.
You are aware that we had to remove from cart, and Claire was aware. Hi, Claire.
Hello, I'm
Hi.
here.
You're
Hi.
here. Good. I'm glad. Auntie Cuckoo's telling a tale by the fire, Claire. Have a seat. I had to remove from cart our Route 66 trip because of the COVID Delta strain. We thought not a good time. So instead, we went to Yucca Valley. Suchin, are you familiar with Yucca Valley?
No.
Claire, are you familiar with the high desert, the Mojave?
Yes.
Well, and she's an outdoors woman.
Yes.
She's a fit
She is.
young lass.
She lives in Utah.
She once texted me a picture of a plate of food on a camping trip.
That's right.
And I said, that looks disgusting. Do you remember this, Claire?
I think it was my Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, yes, your Thanksgiving dinner. And you were camping somewhere. Okay, go on.
Yeah, Yucca Valley is right by Joshua Tree, and we stayed in a lovely home on a hill called the ISO House. If you guys want to hit that link and look at the house that we stayed at.
Okay.
We stayed for a wonderfully restorative week. This is all positive. Nothing tragic about that.
No.
And left earlier the morning of check-in so that I could be home to listen in on my mom's urology appointment. And I needed to return the rental car by 1 p.m. So guys, we're talking about a timeline that needed to be achieved. And so I pre-packed the evening. We were out so quick. Let's get some coffee on the way out. And there's a great coffee shop if you find yourself in Yucca Valley, Sue, Claire, listeners. Make sure you add to cart Frontier Cafe. And I ordered a large coconut milk latte and a bagel and cream cheese. And it took longer than expected to get our order, but that latte was real tasty. And then I stopped for gas, Route 62, right there, waiting for the tank to fill up. I finished my latte. I tossed that cup in the trash. Now, Suchin, it takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to get home. 2.5 to 3 hours to get home. Pending traffic. Yeah. And after the first hour, I was getting a little parched. I'm coming from the desert. Los Angeles is its own desert. Chaparral. It's chaparral. And I said, Scott, my dear, because I'm driving us in a rental car. And I say, Scott, why don't you crack open my Lime Mountain Valley sparkling spring water bottle for me? And he did, because he's a good husband. Now, Susan Pak, I'm sorry. I want to say that I felt the first pang of needing to pee around Claremont and Montclair.
Oh my, I felt that way as you walked into the what did you call it? The Frontier Cafe?
Frontier Cafe.
Yeah, Frontier Cafe. I said, this woman is loading up.
She's loading up.
She's loading up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, go on.
So
Get back in the car.
Claremont, Montclair, 39 miles away from home. I start to go, ooh, I'm going to have to pee. And, I just say that in my head. I don't say it out loud. I'm driving. We're listening to music. Scott's talking about podcasting.
I'm having a lot of anxiety right now. You realize that, right? Mm-hmm. There's so much anxiety.
Yes, yes. I, then at some point I have to say it. I was like, oh, okay, I need to tell my truth. I have to pee, but I can hold it because we're only 30 minutes away from home. No biggie. And then I kind of like joke, cause like, I wish I had a boys pad, like, oh yeah, ha 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 ha.
Famous last words.
We start to reach downtown Los Angeles, and then the traffic slows to a parking lot. Mm-hmm. Now, at this point,
tale as old as time.
Suchin,
is that how it goes?
Yes,
how the melody goes.
Yeah,
song as old as rhyme. Okay.
Wait, what song is that? That's a Disney movie, right?
Yeah, she's singing a rock version, though.
Oh, okay. Wait, is that Beauty and the Beast?
I think so.
Okay. Wow. I was the beauty and the beast was in my bladder. So Scott starts frantically searching for a bathroom. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can hold it. Mind over matter. I can hold this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fine. He's like, exit here. And I'm like, like turning and like exiting kind of near like Chinatown. He's like, there's going to be a Starbucks. There's going to be a Starbucks. We're coming towards a Starbucks. I'm like, okay.
Worst bathrooms in Chinatown. The worst. I'm so sorry, Koo.
And I make a left. There's a Starbucks. It's attached to kind of like a multi-use sort of place. And then I see the Starbucks in the corner. I'm going to make a right in the parking lot. I stop because it's residential parking only. Oh no. Got to pull out of the parking lot. Got to keep going straight. I got to keep going straight. Scott's like, I don't know. There's nothing there. We can't keep driving. Make a U-turn because nothing's coming in that direction. Okay, I'm making a U-turn. I turn, I see a Burger King. Okay,
ooh,
Burger King.
God, desperate.
Gotta go to Burger King. So desperate. Pull into the Burger King. Get the closest parking spot I can have. So if you can picture Suchin is swaying back and forth.
I can't, because also now I have to pee.
Suchin's is swaying back and forth. I'm coming. It's a busy parking lot. It's a busy parking lot. Again, Chinatown parking lot.
Book it.
I grab my purse and like go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom and I'm like shaking and I know I look insane. And then I get to the bathroom and there's a very well-dressed Asian man. Like he's just somebody who probably in his 70s takes his appearance like he's not like a fancy man, but he is somebody who wears a belt and a hat and like pulls the pants all the way up, like just a really well-to-do guy. And he looks at me and he's like waiting for the bathroom, and I was like, and there's a women's and a men's bathroom, and just the relief of like, oh my god, women's bathroom, okay. And I go there, and to my horror, you need a quarter to get into that bathroom.
Told you, worst bathrooms are in Chinatown. Asian people aren't giving away that for free.
I opened my Gucci purse.
You're lucky that it wasn't a token.
I look in. I did not have a quarter in my Gucci purse.
No.
I looked at him and I had to do some math. While I was walking up to the Burger King, I was almost peeing. Yeah. Like it just was so bad. Yeah. So I turned around, marched out, and marched out to my car, the red rental. Scott's looking at me like, what? I'm like, there's a quarter. I squat in front of our rental. No! Suchin, no! I squat in front of my rental.
Have I taught you nothing?
Before I could even squat, pee is rushing down my leg. I'm wearing a beautiful black sundress, which I will add to the add to cart list in a little bit. I lift it up. Now, can I feel movement of people coming out of the door? I can, but there's no stopping. There's no amount of my underwear. I can't even pull it down. It becomes a filter for my urine. Oh my God. And I pulled my dress up and then I was like, cool, you pull it down because I think your ass is out. And I pee there. I pee there for way longer than anybody wants. I cannot look at Scott. I cannot look at the people who've gotten their combo meals and I've walked out. I can't do that. That's not what I can do. We are in survival mode. I popped the trunk. We're coming, so like I'm gonna have to change because I am sopping wet. I get some stuff from the bag. I get sweatpants. I notice that there is somebody parked next to us. To the right, I can't deal with him. It's not time to deal with him. We can't look at him. And then the phone rings. And it's my sister calling from my mom's urology appointment.
Oh, the irony.
And
the irony.
And Scott's like, what should I do? I'm like, hit accept. And my sister's like, hi, we just got here. We're waiting for the doctor. And I was like, can you call me back when the doctor's there? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Now, Suchin Pak, just you started to say it, but the reason why my mom is at the urology appointment is that she's having an incontinence problems.
But yours isn't an incontinence problem. Yours is just sheer stubbornness.
I know, but
it's stubbornness because I am the poise ambassador.
Sue,
I am your other half.
I agree, but Sue,
and yet you refuse. You refuse.
Sue, I agree. So I'm just saying, but P to P, the irony is there.
Oh, the irony is there.
I think you need to speak more into what you're saying, and I need to hear it. Go ahead, Sue.
When I had mentioned,
go ahead, Sue,
many moons ago,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Clara, you know this story. I was at Koo's house and we were having a work thing and I popped in a pad on my way home. She laughed. She laughed. She thought it was the most ridiculous thing. I laid out my argument. I have been laying out my argument here for almost a year now.
I agree. I was aghast.
So this is my question to you, Koo. And Claire, hearing this horror story. Because Claire, you don't have to suffer the indignity of flowing your own warm urine in the parking lot
of a Burger King.
Because you don't have to go through that. Mm-hmm. I'm asking you ladies, is it time? Is it time to poise it up? Go ahead. Take your time.
Well, I feel like it would be, see, not, I have to say it is time. No, but Sue, I just to be clear, I needed 2 poise pads.
No, the thing is you don't.
I don't.
That's the beauty of poise.
Well then, yes, it is time.
It's enough. Wow. Yeah, it's enough.
Okay, I was in the desert and I was making a point to constantly hydrate. I think this is part of it.
Yeah.
But I saw Shang-Chi.
Okay.
I saw Shang-Chi. And that's what, 2 to 3 hour movie, same amount of time.
Yeah.
And I had, a large Coke Zero, cherry flavored. Didn't have to pee till I got home even.
Yeah.
So what's up with that?
I think it's the coffee.
Oh God.
Because coffee is a diuretic.
Okay. All right, listening.
It's part of it. But here's the other thing that I'll say. I actually have peed in lots of parking lots.
And she's like, there's not. Would you rather pee in a parking lot than pee in a pad?
Okay, so here's what I don't get. How much are you sitting in it?
For how long?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, wait, hold on a second. You're afraid. Okay, let me see 2 scenarios. Okay, you in the privacy of your own vehicle. Okay, in the privacy of your own pants. In fact, nobody in the vehicle even has to know what's happening in your pants. Doesn't know what's happening in your pants. Discreetly take care of your business. Sit in it. Yeah, fuck it. You're sitting in it. Okay, until you get to the place that you can dispose of it. Or you put your ass out for the whole world to see and you urinate in a parking lot?
Okay.
What?
But Claire, you probably normally, Claire, she has time to go, hey, there's a tree, there's a car that's blocking.
No, she said parking lot. She said parking lot.
Claire, you didn't do what I did, which is, again, when people were on their way to the drive-thru,
There is one particular public parking lot where there are cars and a little dumpster. There's a fence that a horse lives. That is the parking lot of Los Hubertos. That's on the way from Salt Lake City to Moab, where I frequently will pee after we go through the drive-thru. We get our 3 tacos, and then we go into the little corner, and I will pee there. And then we get back on the road. So, yeah, I think I would rather pee in the parking lot.
I see. We are 2 different people, Claire, and that's okay.
That's okay.
We meet here at an impasse by you said a garbage dump and a chain link fence.
Where a horse lives. Where a horse lives.
Where a horse lives.
Yes.
And I am in my petticoat and my silk blouse, just discreetly minding my own business, and you are squatting
Yes.
Next to a dumpster. And that's fine. And here we are.
Loftily upon Kulop's 2 shoulders.
Well, let's take a break because I have to go to the bathroom, let's be honest. And then we'll be back with more Add to Cart.
Oh, I forgot. Add to Cart, Shang-Chi. It's so good.
Oh, I'm glad Marvel made it. Just barely made it. Small movie. History in the making. But anyway, we'll be back.
Add to Carters. We are so excited for our guest today. He's a beautiful man, first and foremost. Okay? And I'm not objectifying him. I'm just stating a fact. He's a TV writer for shows like Black Monday, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Jimmy Kimmel Live, and is the podcast host of I Say No Gifts. Please welcome Bridger Whittaker! What?
Cool.
She's for hire. She's for hire for sporting events, dog
Monster
shows,
truck rallies.
monster truck rallies, recess at your local elementary school.
That's right. I'm here to hype you up.
I'm so hyped right now.
This is your hype voice. This is your hype voice.
I hope that's emanating from my corner of the Zoom. I'm thrilled.
I cannot wait to dive into what you've been adding to cart. And I'd love to start with a snack.
Oh, good.
I want to know about these dry roasted Brazil nuts. Now, I eat a nut, but I'm not familiar from this nut of Brazil.
Okay, look. For maybe the first 30 years of my life, the Brazil nut in a mixed nut, I wouldn't even touch it. They're like the size of a cockroach. I thought they were terrible. I didn't want to eat them. Then I was at the doctor for a routine checkup, and I found out that my cholesterol is at the high end of normal.
Okay.
And he really
relate.
sent me into a panic. But I was kind of seeing a new therapist at the time who was giving me zero good advice. I mean, it was not a good therapist for the most part. But this therapist, I told him about the cholesterol, and he said, oh, my husband had high cholesterol, very high cholesterol, started eating 2 Brazil nuts a day, and it dropped. Now, this sounds like wild advice to me.
Especially from a therapist who's giving you bad advice about the thing they're actually qualified to give you advice
Right.
on. But continue.
But I kind of, maybe that's what I did in my mind. I was like, well, you're bad at doing your actual job, but maybe you're good with other advice. So I ordered an enormous bag of Brazil nuts, started eating, let's not say 2 a day, we'll probably say 6 a week.
Okay.
My cholesterol, you two, is fantastic now.
No other changes.
No!
No way.
I'm serious. I'm still eating way too many eggs. I'm eating too much red meat.
But haven't you started like a gym regimen this past year? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to shine a light on the truth here. I wasn't playing the game. I was not playing the game.
So this is, okay, so about 2018 is when I received this advice. I didn't start really working out until 2019.
Oh, so this Brazil nut was pre.
It was pre. I mean, there is a chance. I mean, I have to imagine working out is also helping.
Thank you.
I will always give the snack the credit.
Okay, can we enter some more evidence to this?
Please.
I'd like to discuss perhaps the Ring Fit Adventure Nintendo Switch may be also a part of lowering your cholesterol.
So wait, this is another add to cart. What is this?
Are either of you familiar with this?
No.
So what is a Ring Fit Adventure Nintendo Switch?
Yeah. Well, it's a video game for the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
That comes with essentially a yoga ring that you attach your Nintendo controllers to.
Okay.
And then you strap a thing onto your leg that monitors the movement of your legs somehow. Okay, look, it's still miserable. All exercise. I'm not someone who has ever enjoyed a second of exercise. Do you two like to exercise?
When I do it, it always makes me feel good. It just
Really?
It's the starting. It's the minute one.
For me, not a moment of it. It's hard to start. It's hard all the way through, and then I feel bad.
Oh,
Agreed. Check, and check.
okay. The two of you are very similar. I didn't realize that until now. Wow.
We're just going to merge into one host of this podcast. But I got this thing. It was sold out, of course, as all exercise equipment was early pandemic. And I finally get it, start doing it, and have, as far as exercise is concerned, a wonderful time. I have done, I'm not kidding you, probably 13,000 squats in the last year.
Wow.
Wait, so so it's a video game that pretends that you're exercising. Like, what is the thing?
Right. So you're holding the yoga ring. You've got
Yeah.
the thing strapped to your leg. You're looking at the TV. You pick your character. Yeah.
Okay.
You've got like a man or a woman, both kind of just generic looking people. I picked a woman with a long ponytail and orange hair. The character is kind of running through various environments, fantasy kind of environments.
Oh.
And then you run into enemies. The running stops. You're running into monsters that look like kettlebells.
Koo, you would love this.
I know I would.
And then you have to like jump through whatever the...
Right. So when you run into the monsters, everything shuts down. Suddenly you've got to do squats. You've got to squeeze the ring. You've got to do sit-ups. You've got to... It's got a billion different things.
Wah. No, I'm looking at this and and it's distracting because for someone, you don't want to feel like you're exercising if you don't like it.
So if you can kind of just let your brain go, it's not completely horrible.
Again, I maintain everyone that this is just the perfect way to get to know somebody, is to know what's in their carts. And that brings me to a book, because Sujin and I love a book.
Yes.
And I want to know why you added to cart Stranger in the Woods, The Extraordinary Story of the Last True Hermit.
Are you familiar at all with this story?
Wait,
No.
hold on a second. Is this the hermit? Is this the hermit lady in Russia?
Oh, no, but
No,
that's
okay.
already a title of a book. That should be, I'll write The Hermit Lady in Russia.
Now, is this a current hermit, like in modern day hermit?
He
all right.
was.
Okay,
until...
continue. I don't know of this hermit, but there are hermit tales, throughout time. And so I just wanted to place us in the right hermit tale. And here we are.
This is something to me that's really I'm starting to be like, who am I? Because I'll bring this book up to people like the North Pond Hermit. I'm like, I thought that was common knowledge that everyone knew about this hermit. And no one knows about it. And I've known about it for years. So, this book is about this man who, in the 80s, I think he was maybe 18, 20, something like this. I think his brother had given him a car, which I believe, and I may have just made this up because I love this car. He was driving a Subaru Brat, drove it into the woods in Maine, got out of the car, left his keys, wandered into the woods, and then lived there for 30 years. In the meantime, he was burglarizing cabins just to get food, to get batteries, just the necessities to stay alive through Maine winters and that kind of thing. And of course, then became kind of this ghost that was living in the community. Everyone was kind of scared of him. And eventually, security technology caught up, and they were able to catch him. Ends up going to jail. and is now kind of been dragged back into society and has to get a job, this kind of thing. And this author just sort of forced his way into the hermit's life because the hermit didn't want anything to do with it, but the author just kept showing up and developed a relationship with him, and this book is about it. It's fascinating. But this guy, according to him, only spoke one word the entire time. To another person. He came across some hikers in the woods, and he said hello. Then the rest of the time he was, just, I guess, I don't know, listening to the radio in the woods, and I think maybe he stole a Game Boy or something.
Wait, he's not talking to a squirrel? He's not chatting with a badger? I mean, are we... Come on.
Well, he's not the North Pond extrovert. He's the hermit. And so he was...
Bridger, is this exotic to you? Is this something that you're like, man, I'd love to just...
Yeah, what did it... This really touched you in some way. Let's talk about that.
Look, I do appreciate a little bit of quiet. I like some quiet. To that level, no. I like to see my friends. I like to be on a podcast on occasion. But if I had to make a choice between noise and silence... I might be a North Pond hermit. But what about you two?
I like people. I like to be around people, but I need my alone time. My alone time is very important to me. That's where I refill my battery.
I'm exactly the same, except take out the people.
I will say I got a notification. There's movement at the door. You should just say there's someone at your door or something. The movement indicates there's like scurrying or something. There's some sort of creature. But there was something at the door. And then almost immediately after, I get a text from Kulab. There's something at your door. So I go to the door, and there's a bag. On my podcast, look, it's open season. I go there. I know anything could happen to me. When I go on someone else's podcast, I feel like I'll be safe here. They'll take care of me. And yet, here we go. My podcast almost feels like it's bled into this podcast, and now I have this bag here. What's the plan here, you two?
Look, Suchin had this idea. We need to give Bridger a gift.
It says so in the title of his podcast, Gifts.
It does say gifts. All right, Bridger, if you could please just kind of introduce your show right now, and we're guests now.
You two...
Turned into this. Oh my God, that's amazing.
What if this just bled into it? It's like when the Jetsons met the Flintstones.
Yeah, that's you don't even have to record your podcast next week. You can just run this one.
And here we go. Bridger, take it away when you're ready.
Welcome to I Said No Gifts. I'm Bridger Weiniger, and I hope you're having a nice time. We've got about an hour or so ahead of us, so everybody buckle in. This is going to be excruciating. You thought that you were just here for add to cart, and now your whole day is thrown off because suddenly you've got way more podcasts than anyone could have possibly bargained for. You two, when I invited you on this podcast, you knew that there was a really clear title. I Said No Gifts, and yet I have this black bag sitting on my lap.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Is this a gift for me?
It is. It is a gift.
Well, should I open it here on the podcast?
Yes, we would love that, please.
All right, it's like kind of a black bag. It says Fast AF on it. Is this a delivery service?
It sure is.
All right,
It's like a hipster Amazon.
Yes.
Oh, I like the sound of this. This will be something I browse endlessly without buying anything.
Okay.
Oh, wait. This looks delicious. Wait, is this like a veggie pork rind?
I think so. Snacklins.
Snacklins.
My
niece
God. Dana said these are one of the, she highly recommended the snack.
This looks phenomenal. I was at Costco recently, and I feel like I saw these. And, of course, didn't buy anything. But I'm always, you know me, I'm always looking for a new snack.
How dare
so neither of you have tried these?
At Costco.
Well, this is
the least pleasurable experience.
I
I mean, even I know that. I buy nothing, and I don't go into Costco to browse.
I don't have a Costco membership. My friend has a Costco membership.
Okay, so you were the +1 at the Costco
And she'll text me, and she'll say, she knows that I have difficulty shopping, but she takes me there, and I'll get a couple things. You know, I got a 5-pack of toothpaste last time and some walnuts. Should I try one now?
No.
It's your podcast. Okay.
No.
I'm not going to try.
No, because truly we don't have an hour and a half.
Oh, so let's move through this. Let's move. Well, this is not my fault. Not my fault.
I know.
What is this?
Wait. Oh, this speaks to me in an enormous way. A Vietnamese pour-over?
Yes, this is amazing. It's an Asian-owned company, and it's authentic Vietnamese coffee, but it's instant, and it even has the condensed milk packets in there.
Oh my God, Vietnamese coffee. I know. Copper Cow Coffee. That's a great name too. Yeah. What is? Okay, it's like in a silver thing. I don't even know.
Oh.
Let's see. I'm gonna open it up here. What is this? It's cookie dough?
It's cookie dough. It's edible cookie dough that's been enhanced with various, adaptogens and such.
Sanzo. I have been wanting to try this since you recommended it and was not able to find it.
Sanzo Asian flavored sparkling water.
It's delicious.
Oh my God. This is, I feel, this feels cruel on your part to send me like an actual beautiful gift.
Where can we find you on the internet?
Hopefully nowhere at this point.
Okay, if you follow Bridger on his Instagram, it is truly just pictures of trash.
No, it's beautiful
It's
shots
artwork.
taken by someone who's not a photographer, who just happens to have a natural,
Eye for garbage.
an eye. You can find me on, the internet. Let's just send it into space and head back to 1991. You can find me on Instagram or my podcast.
What's that called again? It says Give Me Gifts.
It's called Gifts Galore, No Thank You.
Bridger, thank you so much. You're the best.
Oh, I've had an incredible time. What a fun time.
All right. That is it for our show. We made it. There
I
it is.
am damp. I am a damp person right now.
Just laughing. It's too much dampness.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Thank you so much to everyone, especially to Bridger for coming on to the show and having us both on his show during this show. Make sure to listen to all of our podcasts. I Said No Gifts.
Yeah, there's a preview right here in our show. Always remember, call us at 833-453-6662. Put us right into your contacts. Tell us where you like to pee, Share that with us. That's information we would love to know.
And check out at Add to Cart Pod to find everything we talked about today and more.
We will be back. We'll be back next week. Okay, bye. Oh, God, you guys. Add to Cart is a production of Lemonada Media. Our producer is Claire Jones, and our editor is Ivan Kurev. The music is by Wasabi and produced by LA Made It, and Oh So Familiar with additional music by APM Music. Executive producers are Kulap Vlysak, Sujan Pak, Jessica Cordova Kramer, and Stephanie Whittles-Wax.
Be sure to check out all the items we mentioned today on our Instagram at Add to Cart Pod. Also, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe to this show wherever you get your podcasts.